Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. Today I am sitting in Jita and I'm just thinking to myself, okay, what am I gonna do now? And something I was considering to do is some abyssal running, I'm a proponent or an advocate of the people who do the abyss in Jita. I think it's pretty fun. It's a bit risky, but also it's very convenient, especially if you are doing some low tier abyssal sites. Then it's alright. I don't think abyssal gankers will really you'll really be on abyssal gankers radar. It's mainly the T4 or mainly T5 plus filaments that cause you to be on abyssal gankers radars. But I was just sitting here, thinking, I'm gonna do some abyssal sites. So I was in my Rattlesnake. My Rattlesnake is just a generally good PvE ship, and I was thinking of switching to my my Gila that it can do some T4 sites. But then I went into the market and I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked because it was not a long time since I had bought any of these filaments from Jita, because I had like a whole stockpile of the filaments just stockpiled up in my inventory. So I was just thinking of buying some new filaments that I haven't, I need to obviously refill my filaments. I hadn't got any. So you guys know that I like to do the electrical filaments. Those are my favorite ones, the electrical ones. And then let's just see now, what is the electrical ones going for? What are electrical filaments going for? What the hell? What the hell is this? 17 million ISK for a T4 electrical filament. That is really bad, by the way. Really bad. I think there are multiple reasons for this, but this is really bad, at least for me. Because this price is just like... It is just way too much for the T4s. It's basically not even really profitable for me to run T4s anymore, because I would say on average for a T4 site with the full clear, because not even everyone does full clear, but I do full clear. What I mean is I go for the extraction nodes, those extra nodes, and they give you I would say about 40-30% extra ISK. So it's still quite a significant amount of ISK you get from those extraction nodes. And if you are just going for the bioadaptives, then you'll get even less ISK. And for with a full clear, with on average, or a good site that I would say would be over 40 million ISK from a T4. And then you got, what is this, 16-17 million for a filament. That's like only 20 something million ISK for one site. And then you multiply that by 4, that's maybe like 80 million an hour. That's not at all you can't even compare that to what I used to get. I used to get like about 150 million ISK an hour quite easily, actually. But now this is not looking so good, actually. It feels like almost half the the profits are just going to be used on the the filament price is just absolutely crazy. I'm thinking maybe people will be actually using these Firestorm filaments soon, because they're so damn cheap. They're pretty hard to run because of the less capacitor boost, more armor of the NPCs. It takes a longer time to get through. But we're not even done there. Okay, we're not even done there. Let's go to chaotic, because I like to run a lot of T5s as well. What? 34 million ISK. Can you believe that? 34 million ISK. That's so much. That's like a full tick you would get from nullsec, proper nullsec, like very thoroughly robust nullsec rating, just on the filament price. You can see here, the prices have actually spiked up quite a bit, actually. They used to be for a lot less, 18 million. You can see here, in the summer, they were worth about what the Ragings are, the T4s are worth now. Look at this. Look. T4s 16-17 million, and the T5s this summer, when I did so much farming, I remember this summer I was no-lifing so hard because I had a lot of free time. They were worth this little. Like, what is this? And then you see this, look, it's just going up and up and up and up and up and up, and it's just going up and up and up all the time. Like, what the heck is this? There are multiple reasons for this, I think. So first off, I keep writing raging. It's raging. There are multiple reasons, I think, for this change to occur. You can see they're all kind of happening at the same time as well. You see this? They're going up at a similar pace, like around the autumn, October time. They're going up and up and up. I think it has to do with the general, the general changes that have been occurring on EVE Online recently. There have been a lot of changes occurring, and in general, like if you compare like this last 6 months to about a year, the changes, they've all been focused towards, this kind of like resource scarcity kind of thing, where null stake writing has been nerfed, mining has been nerfed, all these different pockets of income have been nerfed. The only real, or one of the few types of income making that has not been nerfed are actually these abyssal sites. They kind of got nerfed indirectly at the beginning of last year, or late or in the middle of last year, I can't remember now, but it was the multi-spectrum shield hardeners and all the items that got resist bonuses to your ship, they were actually nerfed. So like for example, this multi-spectrum shield hardener, all these kind of things, they provide less resistances than they did before. So this kind of indirectly nerfed abyssal sites, because you need to have there's very big requirements on your tank there. So when those things are nerfed, it's obviously going to be hard to run them. So they kind of got nerfed in that way. But now I think it has to do just in general, everything is getting nerfed, but still the income has been kind of constant from the abyssal sites. So because of this, I think a lot of people actually have been going to run these abyssal sites. A lot of people have been moving from other activities to do this because they are actually really good ISK, and they're not extremely hard to run. I mean, they do require some skill, and they're also a big investment, lots of skill investment, but they're still very, very profitable. That's one of the main reasons I actually do them. I mean, they are a very interactive activity, but it is one of those really, really good ISK making activities. Like they can, for the chaotic electrics, and also sometimes it used to be the raging. Now with the new prices of the raging electrics, I would say it's not, but you could actually earn almost the same as like standard carrier level ratting with a little Gila cruiser. Obviously that little Gila cruiser is not a little cruiser, it's a pretty pimped, often a pretty pimped cruiser, unless you're using some really like budget style, going in a suicide mission kind of way in your abyssal running. But this is just something I was very shocked with, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, because I don't think I want to run a whole lot of more chaotic electrics. Like when I was looking at these filament prices, it's just okay, it'll still obviously give me some money by doing them, but I don't think I'm really this is going to be a continuous activity for me to do. Like I talk a lot about the burner missions and L4 missions. I think maybe that will even become like a proper income making activity for me, actually, because these prices, they're just absolutely crazy. Unless I change filaments, that is also an option. I've been actually thinking about it a little. I've still not decided on what I would want to do, but I definitely think that considering changing the filament type would be a possibility. So you see here, chaotic firestorm, you can see here chaotic firestorm. What is this? 1 million for the filament. That's basically negligible prices for the filament. You don't even have to count it. It's obviously going to take a little bit longer because of the bonus armor of the NPCs, and also it'll be a bit harder to fit because of the worse capacitor compared to the electrical ones. But I can see definitely this being a possibility. Also, the cataclysmic ones seem pretty interesting as well. You see the cataclysmic exotics. It's 24 million. That's about the same price as what the T5 electrics went for. A couple of months ago. But I think that this could also be a possibility because you'd obviously earn a lot more from this. The only issue I have really with the T6 is that it's hard to get the full clear. It's very difficult to get the full clear in a cruiser, at least, because the time spent getting the the extraction nodes, that is something that really takes quite a long time. And especially since we're in the exotic, I don't have that capacitor bonus. I can't use my MWD. It is a bit of an issue, so I'm not going really fast. But also, just in general, I have to always be really close to the NPCs, because in the cataclysmic, the T6 filaments, time is a big factor. There's a lot of HP to get through, and I always have to be in range with my light missiles to be able to do maximum damage, because I basically have to be constantly outputting damage in the T6 filaments to be able to do them reliably. If I just spend time messing around with filaments and then you got NPCs kiting all over the place that are outside my missile range, I'll only be doing damage with my drones in my Gila, and then it will be a bit of a problem, because then I'll not be outputting maximum DPS, and because of that, maybe I could run into time issues. Like the T6 filaments are just really, really time sensitive. There's a lot of stuff to kill. I kind of wish that the T6 filaments, you know how in T4 and T5 you can get minus 50% of a certain resistance or minus 70%? I kind of wish in their T6 they had like minus 70 or minus 90%. So then it'll go a tiny bit faster, you know, for people who are doing a certain resistance type. Then it'll be quite cool, actually. And maybe it would be a bit more reasonable time. But at least in Nagila, which is probably one of the best Abyssal cruisers for running Abyssal size, it still seems to have a bit of issues with the times for these T6 filaments. Or at least as far as I have tried. I've tried multiple fits actually now. Well, I'll post some videos probably in in the future, but I have been doing some testing, and I found that like T6 running it is possible, definitely possible in Nagila. But for me, who's kind of sometimes I'm like watching a little movie in the background or something. If I get carried away for like 1 second, I could actually risk running out of time. In the T5s, I have no issue with that. It's just really I just steamroll the NPCs. So I guess that is the kind of what you get. You know, if you want to get that good ISK, you have to pay attention. That's a thing that's quite common in EVE Online. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't feel as comfortable to run the T6 filaments, even with maximum bling. It doesn't feel as comfortable. It just has a lot to do with the DPS. You can't. The only way to bling your DPS is with those Imperial Navy drone damage amplifiers, and after this you can't really get any more DPS. There's always kind of there's a very big ladder towards blinging your tank. Like you got the Pith or the multi-spectrum shield hardeners, and you know I often run the B and C type, but you can also, if you really want to go hard, you can go with the A type. And I don't use A types, but this is like there's always that little like next step up, but there's not really a next step up for the damage when it comes to the Nagila. The only thing really would be the C3-X, and the C3-X is first of all quite expensive, but also it's not really that great because this boosts your missiles damage, which is good, but the thing is, the most of the Nagila's damage is from the drones, and also the drones have that better damage projection range. You're sometimes not going to be in range of your missiles, so I prefer to have all the triple drone damage amplifiers in the lowers, actually, because then I'm just making sure that all the damage, or as much damage, is actually being applied. I mean, you do get a little bit more DPS from C3-X, but if we even see here, let's go and just go to one of the fits I've got. So let's do Nagila. Let's go in this one, for example. I have some theory crafting I was doing for a T6 filament. So if we go here, C3-X, see that 5, 6, 7. Now I've not got any missile. If we load the ammo here, you see this 850, or with the reload time 760. Drone damage amplifier and Imperial Navy 757. So I mean, it's almost the same, very similar DPS, if you factor in the reload time. And also, you have to also take into consideration that your missiles are not always going to be, you know, applying because of the kind of shorter range. And it is also a lot more expensive than the Imperial Navy drone damage amplifiers. So I always prefer to go with the triple drone damage amplifiers. And this is just all kind of like interlinked in the way. It's kind of interesting, actually. You know, how all these nerfs have been happening around EVE Online. It's kind of caused the Abyss to be indirectly nerfed, and in that way it's kind of having to make me rethink my fits. So I think that is actually quite interesting. I mean, I keep telling you guys about the change of pace. Maybe we'll in the future see a bit of a change of pace. Me personally, I'm not some guy who is like, I like to create very like safe ways to do stuff. I don't usually and then I like to stick with that because I know that works. So and when I change to a new way, I have to really be sure that works properly. So it'll take a bit of time, but hopefully I'll find some new options to do some my like higher tier abyssal running. I mean, I'm still basically gonna do the chaotic electrics, but with these prices, I don't know for how much longer, because it doesn't seem like there's really much end and stop. It just keeps going up and up and up. We saw a little bit dip here mid-December to January, but I wouldn't be surprised actually if it went up even more. This is a bit unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. We have to always adapt to EVE Online. It's a very living universe we live in. It's very, very interesting. It makes you have to think and not just do all the time. Alright, I think that's enough for now. Just a little bit of a mini rant, and also just a bit of thoughts on these new abyssal prices, or not new, but the increasing prices of abyssal filaments, particularly the electrical ones, which I do a lot. Unfortunate for me because of less ISK, but it will bring some possible changes of paces, which I think always is a welcome thing. Hope you guys enjoyed this video right here, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.